I'll save that joke. Doesn't match. All right, let's go. What up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. Appreciate you guys for being here. Rocket, hanging. Uh, Today we have a guest coming through, Mr. Derek Reynolds from Huggadad Foundation. We're going to talk about how to navigate the legal system when the relationship doesn't work out and how to kind of protect yourself as a man, just to be prepared and just to have understanding and just some of the things he has mentored other men and helped them through the situation. And so let me do some introductions because I don't do that enough. To my left, right is Mr. Larry Banks in the building. Good morning. Good morning. God is dope. Yes, indeed. Right below me, my brother, like no other, Mr. Brian A. McCrory Sr. in the building. And diagonal, Mr. Dr. Thomas Cotton. And no, he's not officially there yet, but
yes, he is.
But he is there. He just the paperwork is still going through.
Still working. hey, you all your homework is done, right?
Right.
So you're a doctor.
You're a doctor.
See what happened was,
and he stayed at the Holiday Inn Express. All right. So I'm gonna get my man, Mr. Derek Reynolds, up. First, we're gonna kick this intro off. Make sure you share. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. And I'm just, you get used to something. I know, and it's not their obligation, but you get used to it. So I'm gonna give a shout out to Lisa and Mama Corey. I don't see them in the comments. I'm assuming either they're here or on the way.
Text my mom like she always texted me.
Right there.
There she is. Right on cue.
There we go. Mama Corey in the building. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, we'll be right back right after this.
Stand up.
Got me over here dancing with that tune.
Reynolds in the building. I gotta have my special effects. What's up, sir? Good morning.
How y'all doing, man?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Thursday to you, sir.
Good morning. How y'all doing, man? Good day.
Wonderful.
Good.
Wonderful. All is well. All right. So glad to have you on. Good to see your face in place.
Thank you.
So today we're going to talk about your foundation, how you got started, and some of the work that you're doing. And then we're going to hit you with some questions and have a good conversation. So kind of talk about who you are and the organization that you started and why you started.
Okay, so my name is Derek Reynolds. I live in Wichita, Kansas. I've been here for close to 10 years. Born and raised in Philadelphia, PA. Came out here to work on the railroad. Didn't go too well. I had some heart issues and different things took me down a different path. But I wound up having my son with a female that was from out here. And once I got my heart issues and she got pregnant, everything just went downhill. And so she left, and she was having my son, and I was going through a lot trying to see him.
Gotcha.
And it was just like she had all the power, all the control. It's like, do this way, my way. You gotta come to my dad's house. It's like just all the power was in her control. And once I seen that was how it was going to go, I went to court. And once I went to court, I seen how court treats dads. It's like you in there by yourself. Even though I hired a lawyer, I felt like I was in there by myself. And it's like it's weird because it's like you sitting in court and you know she got her lawyer, and then like there's this dude from the state that's sitting over there that's just you know doing work, and he's sitting over by her, and there's another dude that might be sitting with her. So it's like damn, all y'all. And then like when you read the motion, it say you versus the state that you in.
Wow.
So I'm like, why is the state versus me? I'm just trying to see my son.
Right.
You know, was this a crime?
Wow.
And so that's why it's like, man, it's like you alone, because it's like state versus you. It's like they're going against you. It's like, so that's why I started the foundation, because I just seen that, you know, when I was going, I'm like, man, I'm going through it. And then I see other dads, and you know, their case was way worse than mine. And I'm like, man, I had never heard of nothing like Brothers of Legacy or fatherhood organizations or anything like that.
Right.
So that's why I started the Hug of Dad Foundation, because I didn't know of any others.
Right.
And I wanted to put my head in the ring. So I went ahead and started mine. And that's what I've been doing ever since then, trying to help, you know, I help a few dads get rights to their kids. And it's just stuff like I promote on Facebook, hey, I help you out. And then a couple dads might hit me up like, yo, I'm going through this or I'm going through that. Right. And I'll just tell them like, well, when you do this, you need to put this on this paper, or you need to say this, or you need to go in there calm, or you need to, you know, make sure you tell them, you know, make sure you have a game plan, make sure you know exactly what you want. It's like, you know, like how we was talking on the panel, it's little stuff that's still complex. Yeah. And once I give them that, it'd be like small stuff that'll trip you up. And then they come back to me like, yo, I got this. I done help one dad in my city. He got full custody of his kids. So it's like, you know, like at first I was kind of bad about it, because like, dang, I ain't helped out like 40, 50 dads. I want to help, like, I want to bring a whole class and help everybody at one time. Right. But then I realized like, nah, but it's better because I'm really sitting down talking to these dudes, you know, working with these dudes, you know, helping them almost step by step. And, you know, I think that's a little better because I'm really connected with people on a personal level. So 100%. That's what I do. And I'm, you know, active in the community. You know, we host events. You know, I'm on the panel for the Wichita Police Department for Diversity and Inclusion, Parent Advisory Council, and Urban League. You know, I just try to keep my hands in everything I possibly can.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yo, first off, I wanna applaud your efforts, man, and your experiences. Not just letting your experiences keep you, you know, at bay, and actually motivating you to start this organization and the roots of it, man. Yeah, and you say you're trying to get like 50, maybe 100 guys, right? And I guess like how many would you say you worked with so far?
On a personal level, it's been like I think like 4 or 5, something like that.
Yeah, and were all those experiences, like, were you able to get them all? Were they all able to get custody, or like the first couple ones, like you were still taking L's and like you know what, this motivated you more?
So like it'd go like, all right, so like there's this one dude in Carolina, he hit me up and he said that his son's mom, they were together, and then, you know, he was having troubles with drugs, so she took the son and went to New York, and he wasn't allowed to see him. So he hit me up, he gave me her information, and I texted her. Now, she never texted me back. It was like a couple months. It was like a couple months she didn't text me back. But then out of nowhere, she sent me a message like, hey, I just want to thank you for what you said to me. You know, you made me see clearly. I thought that I was protecting my son from his dad, but really I was hurting him. And first time I let him talk on video, you know, his face lit up so bright. And ever since, he's been so happy and joyful. And like she was like completely like, yo, I was wrong. And now I see the benefit of my son talking to his dad. And she thanked me. And she even hit me up and asked me to mediate another situation for her. I haven't heard back from her yet, but yeah, she hit me up and it was like she was like, "Yo, you the reason why these two together. Thank you." And that made me feel real good. And then they sent me pictures of him coming up there to spend time with his son. He went up to New York. They got him a hotel and everything. And you know, it was a good feeling because it was like she didn't want nothing to do with him, but just because she took to what I said, you know, she was willing to. So there's been situations like that, or a dude, you know, dude's baby mom is, you know, acting up, doing drugs or whatever, and getting caught up in the car with the kids, and now he got to go through the foster care system to get his kids. It's like, I didn't lose my kids, she did, and when I found out about it, I came straight over here because he was in Tennessee. I said I came straight over here. So I just basically what I told him, because he's a big dude, he's like a bodybuilder. Okay. So I told him, when you go in there, do not raise your voice at all. Right. Never raise your voice. And like when we would be talking, I would tell him that like randomly throughout our conversation, and then before we ended, I'd tell it to him like 2 times because I do it. Like it happens, especially when you passionate about it. It happens, and that's all they waiting for is for you to do that. And oh no, you too unhinged. We can't. You know what I mean? So I just tell him, just stay cool, stay calm, and he would call me like, but when they say, you know, this lady trying to get me to sign this paper, I'm like, don't sign nothing. You know what I mean? Well, this lady said that, you know, she don't know if I'm good enough, if I'm ready to have my kids. Nah, tell her this. Tell her, you know, that you wasn't around when it happened. You know, it's just like, just regular simple stuff that you might not have thought of or that you just needed reassurance on. And, you know, I just help dads one by one like that. And I'm trying to, you know, I post about it that, you know, this is what I do. And I'm just trying to bring more dudes in so that we can.
So this situation with the guy where he, you know, the foster care system has his children, was there any barriers before this situation for him seeing his kids, or they just started putting the barriers up for him?
Nah, there was barriers. I mean, him and the mom didn't have a good relationship.
Okay.
So that's a barrier in itself. If you ain't got a good relationship with the mom and y'all go to court and she say, well, huh?
No, don't worry. It just echoed back. Go ahead.
Oh no. Yeah. The relationship wasn't good. So if you go to family court and, you know, she could just say, well, you know, he's violent. He scares me sometimes. Sometimes he gets mad. He's a big guy. You know, you could just say beat around the bush type stuff, and they'll hold it up.
I find that interesting because usually when children go into a foster system, you know, it's family steps up. It's the next family member up, and to put those barriers out there, you know, just shows how jacked up the system is.
True.
Well, let me tell you this, because I work in foster care too. So let me tell you this. You are right. It's 100% family, but there's something about dads, and I'm being serious. There's something about dads where it's like, well, hold on now. Let's check this guy out. You know, let's make sure everything's good. Because I know plenty of men who have lost the kids were with the mother and the kids went to the system, and the dad still have to go through hoops in order to get his kids out of the system. Like, I remember I took my kids to the park one time and I seen this dude playing with his kids and there was a lady standing over there watching. Now I worked as a caseworker, so I kind of know how that visitation thing go. So I noticed it, and when the caseworker left, I talked to him and I asked him what was going on, and he told me, like, I didn't even lose my daughter, my ex did, and now I got to work this case. I gotta go to these classes. I gotta, you know, do all this stuff. I gotta do these visitations when I never even lost my kid.
Right.
You know, but sometimes when it's the grandmother and the granddad or, you know, stuff like that, all they just make you do is do background check and paperwork and all that. If you straight, kid go right with you.
Wow. Yeah, I think the system is just still antiquated. You know, it hasn't adapted to or grew to these times or readjusted. I just think that the whole process, like everything, needs to be like reevaluated to what's going on to today's time. Because like you're saying, all these situations here, the fathers want to be engaged. They want access, and they're being judged based off of their size. If I'm a big guy, it should be. Oh, he's a big guy. He's bad. Like what? So what? I'm supposed to like be a little guy. Then I'm better if I'm a small little guy. I'm less intimidating. Like the even but here I was talking about antiquated stuff. But growing up, like everybody will refer to their dad, or father figure as the big, strong guy. That's what you wanted to have.
Right.
The women wanted to have for protection. Like, hey, I want my dad to be able to open up a bottle of pickles for me. You know what I mean? So, so the size shouldn't matter in this case.
In this case,
right. Going humble.
It's just so interesting to think that how the system looks at dads and how important we know dads are. Like, we know that my dad wasn't in my life. We hear that over and over again. We hear that, the challenges that children face because the dad wasn't around. And we hear it over and over again.
Right.
But in the system, it's like falling on deaf ears. It's like falling on a space where we're not sure if we want this man or this man is capable. And, a lot of that goes to like how men are portrayed as buffoons, as incapable of caring for kids. But if we really look at it, we're highly capable.
Yes,
we just don't get the opportunities. That's my opinion.
Look, let me tell you something. Right now, right? I just went to court with my ex a couple months ago because I wanted my son to go to summer school because we did a teachers conference a couple months ago, and they showed us the paper where he don't have grades yet, but he got little markers that he's supposed to reach. And he'd be below a number below on a few of them. So they said, well, summer school is not, it's not like we're saying he has to go, but he qualifies because his grades before. So I said, okay, well, let's go to summer school. Like, it's better than just sitting around and playing video games and not doing nothing all day. Let's get this education.
Right.
And we gotta go to court for that. Like, we gotta go to court for that. And then not only court, but then we got to go to mediation. And then I got to wait for the mediation to draw everything up. Then we got to go back to court. Some are going to be over by then.
Right.
What's the purpose of having to go back to court? Is that the way things are structured with you all, or you guys just can't make a lateral decision?
Well, that's after. So when you go to court and the two can't agree, then they might send you to mediation. And when you go to mediation, you sit there and you had a mediator, and he kind of writes things up and kind of deciphers everything, and then he sends it back to the judge for recommendation, and then you go back to court, and then the judge will order on everything. But it's a whole back and forth process that takes forever. Now, by the time this process is done, some are gonna be up, some school gonna be over. I'm like, I wanted him to go to summer school. I mean, like, it's not like I'm trying to send him to, like stripper school or something like that. Like,
right.
I'm trying to get him a regular education.
For that?
Right. They probably do. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, if they did, it would be in Atlanta. That's for sure.
That ain't right. Only because I'm here. That ain't right.
Well, I appreciate you for sharing your story, man. And I'm so grateful for all the things that you're doing to empower fathers and make them feel present and relevant, man. I would say that, some of the questions that I had when I was going through my process is, who are we really mad at? Right? Are we really thinking about the children? Because in a lot of cases, two grown-ups are mad at each other, and the child or the children become the penalty, right? And most fathers are fighting for access, and they end up fighting for possession because they can't even get access.
Right.
And some of them feel like the only way for me to see my child is to fight for custody, not joint custody, because it's so difficult to get along.
Right.
That joint custody doesn't work because everything has to be done. And I'm saying just in my experience, things were done to the convenience of the mother back in those days.
Right.
Now, a lot of it got cleared up as we matured, but that's how it started. You know, you mad at me, so you don't want me to see my child, or you don't want me to see my children,
Right.
Not realizing how necessary I am. And so I think we get to a place to where we recognize, we move our issues aside and look out for the best interest of the child or the children. We'd be in a much better world. But to your point, man, when you looked at the paperwork and you saw you against the state.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the story for men. I remember having mediation during a custody issue with my child. And I remember walking in the room realizing that I lost before I walked in the room.
Wow.
Right? You could just tell by the energy of the woman sitting on the other side of the desk. You know, I have a woman who's mediating, and then the way you're communicating with me, you sound like you're in a custody battle of your own. Right. And that's the challenge that and I'm saying this, I'm talking, 30 years ago when
Dang.
No.
All right, I see AD instigator.
About to do it.
You know what?
All right,
you haven't been with us 1 hour. And you already.
Oh man, that was great timing right
Welcome
there.
to the show, Derek. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, that was a Kevin Hart moment right there.
Oh man, that was perfect.
No,
but the thing is, I mean, I think things have really, really improved. A lot more exposure has happened, and I think the value of fathers and their contribution to families has greatly increased. There's still a struggle, but we've come a long way from 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just the idea of dads going to family court has come a long way, because I'm sure that 30 years ago it was like definitely was taboo, because I know it's kind of like taboo now.
Yeah.
And so, it's ugly. It's ugly how they do it, man. And you go in there and you don't know anything, and it's like, especially if you go in, if you can't afford a lawyer, like me, I don't want a lawyer anymore, because I feel like it's their job. It's their job to separate families. How else do they make money?
Right.
If me and my baby mom work things out and co-parent on our own, how do family lawyers make money?
Right.
If me and my wife don't get divorced, how do y'all make money? Y'all make money off of us separating, and then y'all stay together because y'all got money. But now we separated, and y'all got all our money.
Right.
Now I done had to give you 10,000-15,000 just to see my son, and now I'm broke. Can't go to the zoo because the zoo is expensive. You know what I'm saying? I can't go. I can't take him certain places. I can't. So then when he if he come over and he like, oh yeah, my mom got this nice cool car. I'm like, I bet she do. Or it's like for a lot of dads, like, so you might live in a lower income neighborhood or something like that. Only thing you can afford. You don't have a car. You can't do certain things. But then it's like the mom, everything over at mom's house is cool. It's great. It's like, yeah, because they taking 45% of my check, to pay child support, or like I'm paying lawyer fees right now. It's like, I didn't hire this lawyer. You went out and hired this expensive ass lawyer. Now I got to pay for it. I'm sorry, I'm in the cuss, but you went and hired this expensive lawyer. Now I got to pay for it. And you know, it's like it's just crazy how it is. It's a lot of stuff, man.
So
And like how you were saying, real quick, like how you were saying before, you was like, one of y'all was like, they'll say that you're not ready to take care of your kid or whatever. I was dealing with that too. I'm going to court and they telling me, well, like, well, we don't know if you can handle this or if you can handle that. But then I come home, I got an infant and another toddler at the house that I'm with all day while my wife go to work. And I'm like, don't nobody come and say, well, you spending too much time with these kids, you know, while your wife at work. Like, ain't nobody gonna say that to me. So it's just interesting how, you know, with these kids and these dads in family court, they try to separate you.
Indeed. So Sam says men and women have to do better. Sometimes men have to make better decisions with who they lay down with, and women have to learn how to remove themselves from the equation, make the kids a priority and not their petty feelings. Jeff says, I was fortunate that the way I said, my ex never tried to keep my kids from me, which is great. And let me see. Oh, Lisa. Welcome, Lisa. We were just talking about you early. Welcome.
Fucking bad too.
Now we can begin. Now it
starts.
Rod says, are there general best practices, tips, suggestions fathers should know before they start the process to gain access or custody?
Yes. So what I would say you should know ahead of time is, for one, don't go in there expecting for anything to be fair. Because if you go in there expecting that and then you don't get it, that's going to make you a little more upset. Go in there with a calm, cool head, you know, be ready for the worst. Just go in there, and when you go in there, you know, make sure you always talk about what you want with you and your child, because you can get caught up in the back and forth with the ex. You know, if they say something like, "Oh yeah, he did this," then you like, "No, I didn't. You did." Don't even do that. Right. Just stay with what you're talking about with you and your kid. Don't get caught up in the messy, because then, you know, that detracts from what you're trying to do. Just stick to the topic, stick to the message, and you know that, you know, write down what you want to say, write down what you want. Go in there and be organized, because they want you to have a lawyer, and you know how organized lawyers are. So if you like me, I'm trying to push a situation where we stop paying for lawyers. So if you go in there without a lawyer, just be ready. Know exactly what you want to say, and know exactly what you want to ask for. Have it written down, and just be calm and be ready. But also, real quick, I want to speak to what the First Lady said about co-parenting and staying together. She's absolutely 100% right. You know, and that's why I want to teach sexual responsibility to our young men. Wow. That, you know, that you don't have to be like, you know, your numbers don't matter. You know, we keeping score of the wrong thing. You know, we trying to have our body count up, and we're just trying to get all these girls and all this stuff. Now you moving around with different girls. You might have a baby with 2 or 3 different girls. Like, that's not. We think that's cool. We think that's, you know, gangster, or you know that's not the way to go. We got to teach our young men that it is actually cool to get with a girl, stay with her, work it out with her, get married, have kids, be faithful. That's actually the cool thing to do. But it's just never been put out there like that. So we got to make it like that. We got to make it like, all right, find you a girl or find you a dude. Don't worry about materialistic things. Don't worry about looks so much. You know, of course we need those things, but worry about the mind too. You know, ask some questions, see where their head is at, see where their family is at. You know, for dudes, you might want to get with a girl who, you know, have a good relationship with her daddy. You know, just look at certain things. You know, if you see the grandmama crazy, you know, think about that. You know, don't just be like, sometimes girls be like, oh, my family crazy. I ain't like them. Yeah, I don't know. You might want to watch out for that. But
he'd be like, so we gonna go beat your parents? Nah, we good.
Yeah. So yeah, but just I want to teach. We need to stay together. We need to work things out. And I wish we didn't have to go to court so much because I like I don't know if y'all know Dr. Umar Johnson, but he says that we make these courts we make these courts think that we make the people think that we still reliant upon them because we can't even work it out between two people. Two people can't work it out together. That's like with me and my son's mom. We can't work it out. We can't work together. I can't suggest my son go do this extracurricular activity, and she be all in for it and, be willing to work together. So we do need to learn how to work together better. We need to learn how to pick spouses better. And we do got to put our petty feelings aside because we got a lot of dads who be like, oh no, I ain't messing with her. So I ain't going over there. I ain't doing this. I ain't doing that. That's bad. And then, we got moms like, oh, well, he getting on my nerves. He ain't seeing his kids. Like, we got to stop that.
Yeah. And the thing is, I'll put this a certain way. The effort we, the whole sexual responsibility and not being able to get along, but we were always able to get along. That you that put forth the effort to get to I'm gonna refer to it as the prize, right? That why can't we, women probably like, oh yeah, thank you, Larry, as men as well, but you still put forth that same effort to try, to make things work. And I know it's not going to happen all the way. It's going to be somebody else is going to the other. It's both parties gotta be willing, right? But we gotta, whatever it is, whatever the feelings are, at a certain point, we got to like put forth that effort. And like you said, you're putting forth the effort to at least have the custody. And are there times where putting forth the effort to like, okay, what is it why are you angry with me? What did I do? Can we get past this? Let's address this so that we can get to the bigger, get to the bigger solution here. We created this child here together, maybe not on purpose, my son puts it a certain way. I can't remember what it is, but he puts it a certain way. But so I think the word mistake is in the mix. But we created this person. Now it's our job to make sure that this person is raised as a good human in society, right? We got to make sure that we're there. It took two to tango, takes two to raise this child. It's not just the one side that's saying, "Hey, I'm the I don't need him," or him, well, I don't need her. Child needs both of you guys to invest that same effort into them. So,
how old is your son?
Well, my son's 21 now.
21? Okay, let me ask you a question. So, with you and your ex having issues,
I don't have an
ex. I thought you said that you had worked it out.
Oh no! I'm just saying in general. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay, not bad.
Okay. Yeah, no. I made sure I made it work.
Okay.
One time. So I said my son refers to So we had our daughter out of wedlock, right? And,
okay.
And my son refers to, because that wasn't planned. That parenthood there wasn't planned. He refers to it as a type of mistake.
It's right there.
Yeah, don't get me in trouble now. Good thing she went into the office today. I would get popped upside my head. You hit her upside my head with a Timberland.
When we start thinking about like the challenges that fathers face, one of the things I like what you did for the couple, the one that moved to New York, is you reconciled them by talking logic. And I think when communication is at its best, it's when you're really truly focused on what's best for the child. Anytime you get the system involved, any type of system involved, to try to get that system out of your life is a hard thing to do. So if you start off with, having to go through, the family court system and trying to get, you know, rights or establish something, getting that system out of your life is hard. Even if later on down the line, she figures out, hey, you know, it's better this way, or he figures out, hey, it's better this way. A lot of times to change something, once you have the system in your life, it's hard. When you get on a welfare system, when you're in the prison system, whenever you're in any system, it's just hard to get out. So if you can avoid systems up front and work it out like two adults, and that's the part. I mean, adulthood, start being true adults for the child, understanding that it takes two to raise a child. And if two are willing to raise a child, then they should be allowed to. It shouldn't be, I'm willing to raise this child, but I got to fight to even raise this child. That doesn't make any sense. If I'm willing to raise this child, it should be, okay, there's a willingness here. And the lady says, I'm willing to raise this child. There's a willingness here. Now let's work out what that looks like.
Right.
Because again, you could just keep everybody out of the situation, you know, but once you get mediation involved and judges involved and lawyers involved, it's an ugly thing.
Yeah.
Well, we woke up one day and someone recognized and made the statement that because women carry the children, women have all the power, mothers have all the power. And that's been the ongoing thing. I mean, we say it all the time, it takes two to make a baby, but we all know we live in a world where because women carry the children, it's understood that women have the leverage, right? That's why we have such a debate going on now with abortion rights and all that kind of stuff, my body, you know, those types of things. So there is that. And I totally agree with you, Thomas, that you need to keep the system out and keep family and relationship in. If you all can work it out together, that is the best approach. Do not allow a system, an unjust system, to get in between you and the rearing of your children.
Well, think about it, Brian. The system gets involved the day the child is born, right? The day the child is born, they go to the mother and says, even if you're standing right there, who do you want us to put down as the father on this birth certificate? They can say whatever they want.
Leroy Jenkins,
right? At that point, this it's getting that's the first hurdle that we have to deal with, right? You know, it's right then and there, and you know.
Let me tell you this real quick. So this is what I realized.
Looking like this.
Go ahead, Derek.
And then I had to wipe my forehead, like, all right, thank you.
Go ahead, Derek.
So she put my name down, like, come on now. I'm like, I'm right here. I put a ring on it.
For sure.
Let's go.
For sure. And I experienced that too in the hospital as well. But what I wanted to say real quick was when you go to family court, like, so for me, my son was about 8 months when we got into family court. So when you go in there, it's like my whole thing was they were saying like, well, it's been 8 months, you know, this baby has a schedule. We don't want to interrupt the routine schedule. I'm like, it's a baby. What are you talking about?
Right.
Like, he don't even know what's going on for real. Like, what? So, but I'm like, I'm trying to get, you know, I want 50-50. I want to have my son with me, you know, half of the time. She having with her half of the time. And they're like, well, we don't know. We don't want to interrupt the child's routine. The child has been with his mother and his grandmother all this time. But I'm like, but it wasn't my fault why he hasn't been with me. I've been kept out of the picture. They don't care about that. They just want to go with what the current routine is. So what I understood was they would start me off slow, and then after time, you know, I showed that I'm, you know, handling the baby well. I could come back and get more time. So when I come back and ask for more time, they say, well, you know, why interrupt it now? It's been going perfect this long. Why not just keep it going? You know, there's no, they call it a circumstance, substantial change of circumstance. So there has to be something substantial that has changed in order for you to change your custody. The mom on drugs, you know, neglecting, beating the kid, or, you know, something like that. And my whole thing was, why does it have to be so drastic in order for me to get rights?
Right.
So basically, if my ex is, just, not doing drugs, bare minimum as a mom, then I can never increase my time as a dad.
Right.
Like me as a dad, I'm never improving or getting better. Something substantial has to happen.
Right.
Like, and it's ridiculous. Or like the best interest of the child. That's another thing that's in the way. It's like, well, what are the best interests of this child? The child should be with their mother, and it's like, yo, like I'm nurturing. I give hugs and kisses too. Like, what do you mean? But then they're not trying to hear none of that, man. It's like it just puts you in a box as a dad. Like, most dads only get every other weekend. I was fortunate enough. I fought hard enough that I got every single weekend.
Right.
But it's just like they just don't expect you to care. They don't expect you to want time. Like, they'll make excuses for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when I went in there, I felt like I was talking to my dad when I was younger about why he won't see me. Like, all these excuses.
Wow.
I don't need these excuses. I'm trying to be here for my kid. I don't have no excuses. I live in Kansas City. I'll relocate. I relocated twice to be with my son.
Right.
I don't have no excuses. Why y'all got excuses?
Right.
Yeah. So
they call. Go ahead, Larry.
All right. I guess what's the next steps for the Hug a Dad Foundation, and then how do we refer another brother that might be in a situation?
Hey, brother, that's my job. I do that. That's my job.
I'm sorry. Then I'm gonna take it to another question.
No.
You said Philly. Where's your cheesesteak come from?
Oh man. All right, so man, listen. I don't go to Max's and all those tourist spots, man.
Give us the real.
Give us the real. What's the
real? That's what we need.
I mean, listen. Max's is a very popular place. It's in the hood, but I just never been there. I'm not from Area Ave, so I don't really have no business being on Area Ave like that. So if I ain't got to, I don't really go up there like that. But I mean, like, they got like Pat's, Max's. Those are like the popular spots that a lot of people know of. I just go to the local, like, how you have your neighborhood, and you have the store that you've been going to. Like, like we say Poppy. Like, Poppy in the store, and y'all know each other. He know you want onions on your joint or whatever. Like, you know how to make it like you like it. So that's where you go. You go to your local Poppy store, But I ain't gonna say Max is not good. I mean, I've heard a lot of good things about Max's. Just I never went to those types of spots.
I don't want to go to the
I need to go to Philly. I've been hearing a lot about Philly lately.
That's
Derek, you said something that made me think. I wonder if the language is the same in courts for everybody. Like, they said they don't want you to be an interruption. They called you an interruption. I know they say they don't want to interrupt the baby's schedule, but they're saying fatherhood is an interruption.
Exactly.
That's basically what I heard when you were talking, because it's so interesting that this is the father of a child that is a part, this is a primary relationship to this child, and you're holding back the primary relationship, saying it's an interruption. Yeah. And it's so crazy when we start thinking about the language that's used to try to, make I don't know, it's like other language that we know that keeps people out of situations, right? And to me, being an interruption to their schedule is fatherhood's an interruption, is what I hear. And we got to start changing the language and the narrative of fatherhood, even more so, even in that space.
And see, so why you think I tell dudes to stay calm?
Right.
Because they're gonna tell you an interruption to your own kid. Right. And if you like me, if you got that love and you got that passion, you might be like, hold up, who the F y'all talk? You get mad.
Right.
You gotta stay calm. You gotta be like, no, I'm not an interruption to my child. I do this, I do that. Like, you gotta keep it, because they will say stuff like that to you to make you like, hold up, who y'all talking to? Like, do y'all know? It's like I started from like, do y'all know who I am? Like, do y'all know what I've done?
Right.
Do you know that I relocated? Do you know that I relocated multiple states? Do you know that I used to drive 6 hours and rent a hotel just to see my son? Do y'all know who y'all talking to?
Right.
Yeah, you sound unstable.
Right.
You're moving around like that.
I mean, that's how they'll interpret it.
Moving around like that.
It sounds like a beautiful thing from someone else, but the system will interpret it as, oh, you're just unstable.
Do you stay anywhere?
You can't come in with that Terrence Howard.
You can just up and leave at any time.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you stay distant, they'll tell you, "Oh, I'm sorry, you can't do this. You're too far away."
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's a never like there's always something they can say, right, in order to make it look like you should not get what you're asking for, right, in order to see your son. They'll even tell you that, like I even had them tell me when I'm asking for more time, are you thinking of yourself? You being selfish. Like what? How?
Yeah.
How? If I'm sitting here instead of sitting on the beach in Florida, how am I thinking of myself?
Right.
It's like it doesn't make any sense. But they will say it. And it will get you upset, and that's why I tell dads all the time, just stay calm, just stick to what you want to do. And it's like the one thing that made me mad real quick is they don't even look into the baby schedule with the mom. Like they don't even ask, okay, what's the current schedule? They just automatically assume that you will interrupt it. So, like I remember when I was younger, and even as I grew up, but especially when I was younger, like my mom and other moms that I knew, they might not have no man in the household. So they got to do what they got to do in order to get to work. So you might go to 2-3 different family members, different homes throughout the week while mom go to work. Nobody will say nothing about that. Everybody say, oh, mom doing what she got to do. She doing what she got to do. But then as soon as you step in the picture, now you an interruption. Wow. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Derek,
or,
you need to get one of these. You need to get some of these made with that stay calm.
Right.
Wristbands here.
Yeah.
You hand it to that brother.
Stay calm.
When I say brother, I'm not even man. You hand it to that man going into that room. You get one of these and say, stay calm, pop yourself in the wrist when you feel like you're about to lose it. Right. But you really
calm, stay focused.
Give them this because
stay focused. Right.
That's
a good idea.
Yeah, it's a very good idea.
Right.
They may say, you know what? Something may be said in that courtroom that's going to trigger us. Right. We especially if we're emotional, right?
Right.
And staying calm is easier said than done.
Right.
It is
a lot of cases.
So you get
stay calm, I get offended. I'm sorry.
Get a fatherhood color also. If there's not a color for fatherhood, create one. Yeah. And build those wristbands around the color of fatherhood. So when people
that's
know.
Dope.
Yeah. That's a great idea, Larry.
Good job.
Hey, Larry, we're gonna have to talk about some merch ideas, Larry.
See, now you're making it about you. Oh, now you just trying to make some money.
Man, listen, I got lawyer fees, man. Don't you know that?
Hey, what's funny though? It's like people will spend. He's just doing this to make money. He ain't really serious about this.
Right. It's to put that next man up in a hotel to go see his son.
Right.
Exactly. And that's what I wanted to do for the New York brother. I wanted to fly him out to see his son. I just didn't have the funds at that time. But you're exactly right. That's what they will say. But we need money, like in order to run this foundation. Like I think you was asking what's next for Hug a Dad. What's next is to continue to grow, and we're trying to find different ways in order to put ourselves out there and bring in more funds. We're trying to so one thing we'll be doing with the Hug a Dad Foundation and my mentor's foundation is called Dad's Care 2. We're trying to put young men in a better position. So we're trying to put them to work for one. We're trying to establish so let's say like my mentor, he got a dude that's in construction. I know a couple companies that's electric, and they all willing to train and tutor kids. So we're trying to put these kids in a position where, you know, you can learn how to be an electrician, you can learn how to be a construction worker, or learn how to be a welder or something like that. Because we feel like once you have a skill that people seek out, that gives you confidence, that gives you, you know, meaning and reason. So now people seeking you out for conversation, asking questions, and they need your help or whatever. We feel like that builds up confidence. And then from there, you know, you can either work, you can own your own business, whatever it is you want to do. But we want to teach skills at a very young age to give purpose to, you know, because, you know, I went to school in Philly, so we didn't have like trade schools for high schools. Like we didn't do auto mechanic and stuff like that in high school and stuff like that. So I want to give that to the young boys, and we want to teach them, like I said, sexual responsibility. We want to teach them community, togetherness. We want to bring people together to show them that people can be together and work well together. And if we can do that, in the community, then that will improve families, improve staying together, and that will bring crime down, people going to school more often, all that different stuff.
Right. Indeed. Definitely. Listen, I need you guys to make sure you're following founder. Make sure you're following the Hug a Dad Foundation with my man Derek Reynolds. He's on Facebook and Instagram. I think I put his link in the description, so you can click the link. Make sure you liking, sharing, and supporting.
LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn.
I just seen that. LinkedIn as well. Definitely. Derek Reynolds. Honestly, if you Google Derek Reynolds, it'll come up.
Yeah.
His first name is unique, you know, uniquely spelled. So it'll come up.
Thank you,
no problem. Make sure you following and stay connected. They're definitely Brothers Legacy going to stay connected and find more ways to support. As you have a great idea, which kind of coincides with a lot of stuff Brothers Legacy is doing. So we're going to stay connected. We're going to have you back on.
For sure. I definitely want the journey. Yeah, look, I want to say one thing before I leave. One thing we want to do is I want to bring different, you know, men from different states, different cities or whatever. I want to make it so that we have a network.
Right.
So that, you know, if I'm, you know, trying to host events and I say, you know, I'm going to go to Atlanta real quick, or I'm going to go to this place or that place. You know, I can hit you up like, yo, I'm coming there for this or that, you know, come out with me. Or, right. You know, or even, you know, we could, you know, like we have like fatherhood group where we just have dads come in and you just talk about, you know, what you feel, what you're going through. Right. And, you know, we have older, wise dudes there who've been married for quite some time, give you advice. I've gotten a lot of advice, like for my marriage and for my kids. I gained from the own group that I'm, you know, helped started. So, the way we do the way I want to do the network is, you know, I could hit you guys up like, man, I'm going through this. What y'all do in this situation?
Yeah.
You know, how did y'all handle this? Or how did y'all handle that? You know, it's like, we need that network. We need that connection to help each other build. Because if we can help each other become better, then we don't need nobody else. We all in the community.
That's right. Getting us the freedom together.
Exactly.
So, Harriet Tubman. Yes, listen. We're gonna talk. We're gonna stay connected.
Yeah, for sure, man.
That definitely run similar. So listen, we appreciate you guys for being here, rocking with us. Another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. Again, make sure you guys are following Derek Reynolds. If you see the spelling, spell it just like that, and he'll pop up. You'll see his face. Come up with the Hug a Dad Foundation. He's on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. So make sure you guys stay connected. Stay connected to us. Text LWN to 84576.
Can I leave a message real quick? Another message.
Yeah.
Run for local office. I ran for city council. I wasn't successful. I didn't win. But the only reason I think I didn't win was because I'm not from this city.
They don't know.
And when they talk about issues like there's a building here called Century 2, and they're trying to figure whether they want to knock it down or keep it up. And a lot of people have like a childhood closeness to it that I don't have. So when they mentioned it, and I was kind of like, well, you know, if it's working, keep it. If it's not, knock it down. And everybody else like, what?
Oh, he said knock it down.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the reason why I didn't win. But run for local office in your city, because we need our men, you know, up there. We need our men doing these things. We need our men in the school. So go ahead and get yourself out there. I work in the school too. So go ahead and get a little substitute job. You can keep it on the side and pop up every now and then. You know, do that.
You have access. That's good, man. Listen, we definitely on the same page.
You
want to say something before we get out?
Yeah, I was saying that's the last thing that Mrs. Banks wanted me to do. She's like, you gonna take up another cause, Larry? Like,
oh yeah.
Now I can all my platforms at one spot. But you're right. Let's do that. Cool.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put together those bands too. And you brought it up, Larry. So you know we in business together now. You my business partner.
There you go.
That's two causes. Let's go.
Well, yeah, thank you, y'all. I appreciate y'all.
No problem, man. Wait, can you hang out 1 second before?
Yeah. I thought y'all was ending. I'm sorry.
We ended the live, but we could chat offline.
Okay.
Yeah. So we appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure you are watching us tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, Freestyle Friday. You know how we do games and dad jokes and everything that's going down in our neighborhoods. He said the band's a good idea. Yeah, we're gonna talk about them right here. Let's give you a chance to buy one. So make sure you stay connected. LW to 84576. Next week, Monday, we haven't been on in a couple of months, but my wife and I, Purpose for Forever, coming back. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Larry, the brim of that hat is fire. 988. If you or someone you love is having a mental health crisis, make sure you dial 988. And listen, real talk. If you're going through something, know somebody that's going through something, you know, as far as custody and just need some advice, connect with Derek. He can hit you with some tips. I'm actually going to clip up the part when he discusses some of the tips and staying calm and some other great things. So, all right. I got you, brother. Listen, we already got it. We got an investor.
What's up, baby?
All right. So, look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Stay safe. Know that we love you. Jesus loves you better. And we will see you in the AM. Peace out.
Hi, Daddy.